Welcome back to the channel. This is Pilot Ryan with Pilot Ryan Media. This is the Tremors truck 3D printed custom project. My dad said, you've got to take a look at this movie. Look at this truck. You're going to love it. And if you see it, you're going to want to make it. I tell you this, my father cannot tell a lie, and he absolutely nailed it. The minute I saw the movie, I knew I had to make this truck. This was one of the first 3D printed projects that I had done once I received my printer. So some of the files came from Kelly and the rest I printed. Look at the monster blazer. We're out there at France Park. Sean, Kelly, Kirk, and myself. We ran a few vehicles this day. But here is a shot of the Tremors truck from the movie. I studied these pictures to get as close as I could because the files I had that I put on the FMS Jimny chassis, which comes leaf sprung, out of the box on leaf sprung, best kept secret in scale RC. So I started off with the files, one of the first I had done, and the cab I had, and I had even the original bed, which is not what I ended up with. So between two different J20 sets of files, we figured it out, and that is a more appropriate thrift side bed starting to take shape. I used trailer fenders to emulate the fenders on the real truck, fabricated the bumper out of foam, and continued to work on it to make it look as much like the thrift side as I could. I wrapped the foam bumper in scale diamond plate, used a license plate for the floor. I did use the I did inner fenders. I used real wood, and there you can see the diamond plate and a little bit of caulk. This was quite a project actually, but it's coming along nice. The tires are 4.19s, a little bit smaller than average. Good shot of the diamond plate there. And then those trailer fenders that I fabbed to work for the fenders of this truck, printed off some bits and started dressing this truck up. I used my 3D printer to create a stencil. Between the two, I was able to get it right. Weathered up the rims, and things are starting to come together. I didn't want a sticker for the Val and Earl Odd Jobs, so I created that stencil with the software. And finally, winter has subsided, and I got this truck at the most desert style kind of wilderness location that I can find here in Indiana. I'm not going to get out to the desert on the weekend from here, but we've been waiting to get to France Park and Logansport to get a camera on this leaf sprung, fantastic 13-inch wheelbase, 10th scale model. My first time I ever used an airbrush was on this truck as well. And so glad to finally get it out in front of the camera. And this is really the first run, other than a little bit of social media in the front yard. I like this truck so much, I'm working on a 6 scale version now as well that will be made to fit on the venerable F86 axial rock crawler chassis. Check out the rest of the channel if you want to see a ton of other 3D printed bodies on that monster from myself, Kirk, and Kelly. The rims are from Boom Racing, the tires are from Proline. The wood tailgate is from a tree. The interior I purchased from Night Customs. It is actually the Vanquish Fordyce interior, repurposed and sized to fit in this custom project right here. I have a Spectrum 2-in-1 and a SR315 receiver. Running a DX3 on this one, just like a ready-to-run radio. So enjoy the footage. You know, there's a lot more I could really do on this. I really like the tailgate chains and the way this looks. And now that I've got a video of it and tell the story a little bit about how we came to see this thing to fruition, now my dad can get this truck. That was the whole goal, was to make this truck and get it to my dad. So I've got no more excuses. This thing has to move out, and I hate to see it go. I gotta be honest. This was a really challenging build in a way. Like I said, I started with the FMS Jimny chassis, which is leaf sprung out of the box. I do the axle swap and put the axle on the bottom of the leaves, unlike the stock intended location, and remove some of the leaves. I moved some of the mounts. There's a whole lot I did to get this to center up in the arches the way it does. Because you have the front bumper of the vehicle and you have the cross member at the front of the chassis, so to mount these things up in a firm kind of way, you kind of have to work with what you got. So I'm changing mount locations for the leaves, the height of where they are, as well as the forward and back of it all to get them to center the way I wanted in the arches. And then it's almost like trying to figure out how to install two bodies on one chassis, because you've got the truck bed itself, which is in a way independent to the cab. Overall, I'm really happy how it turned out. I hope you enjoy the video. Dad, this is coming your way. Next time I get to town, I'll bring this with me. And I'm really looking forward to having a SCX6 version of this one. And I have already printed all the parts. I've just got to do my finish work and my painting and all of the mounting to the chassis, which we're getting pretty handy at this point. Check out the rest of the RC Truck playlist, man. Between Kurt, Kelly, and myself, we've got 15 or so of these SCX6s on bodies that we've made for the chassis. This is the first time I've done a 10 scale video in a while, actually. But I'm telling you, if you're into the 3D printing of this all, and I think it's fantastic, because otherwise you can't buy this stuff. So being able to make it has been a real treat. We're running a lot of old school trucks, printing a lot of old school bodies that you just can't purchase ready to go, pre-made. And I think we're doing a pretty good job. There's a couple little tiny details I'd like to finish on this thing, but for sake of argument, it's ready to go. I brought this truck and my brand new 54 Chevy 3100 built on an SCX6 that ran here this day as well. So that video is coming soon as also. This is Kirk's Rover. It's a new one I hadn't seen of his out on the trail. And then this Blazer, this is the prototype Kelly made. From, of course, files that existed but were intended for, you know, plastic scale model guys. Kelly had the audacity to blow this up and make this work, and he was the first guy I'd ever seen do it. And it was just undeniably cool. So he gave one of these bodies to one of our friends, and you guys might have seen the all blue version of this a while back get some serious attention online. So very cool to see the prototype out on the trails here at France Park, working it out. If you're into the 3D printing aspect and how we get to what you see here, we discuss how we do it every Wednesday night at 9:30 right here on the channel, 9:30 Eastern Time. Kelly and I both stream together. I've moved my show to Wednesday to be able to accommodate his schedule. And if you want to glean any insight on how we are arriving at the scale and the size and how we're mounting these things up, come by the channel. And be looking out. I tell you, you've seen some of these Chevys in some of the other videos, Kirk and Kelly's Chevy, but you haven't seen mine. I've been working on it for quite a while, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. It's one of my favorite paint jobs so far, next to this one. And I really like all my trucks, man. But this one here, first airbrush job, and then the amount of work it took to make this look the way it does, and being for my dad makes this truck like super special. But you're gonna love the Chevy, dudes. You're gonna love it. So stick around, subscribe, all that good stuff, so you don't miss it when that video drops. If you want to jump in the live stream, we do a lot of airplane stuff too. We've really been heavy on the trucks, but we talk about planes and trucks, seems like every Wednesday. So come on by the channel, 9:30 Eastern Time for the live stream, and check out the rest of the videos on the channel. Have a great day. See ya. Bye now.